Hello and welcome back to Project Zomboid Build 42 multiplayer. Thank you for joining me today, and if you are new here, there are links in the description for all the songs used in the video. Now, I did say this week we were going to focus on training Muffy up, but before we go out, we had to kill Slate. From watching the video back, it is because he got infected at some point off camera. However, in my heart, I like to think it was because he didn't wear his nice new outfit that I put loads of time and effort into making just for him. Now, because Muffy is very new to the game, she doesn't really know what's going on, and because of that, she'll help out where she can, and she tries not to be a burden. The downside of this is it means she won't take equipment because she doesn't want to waste it. So before we can have a big day out training, we have to make sure that she's properly equipped for it. Alongside this, she's never really used guns before, so I take her around the range, get her set up with crosshair options, which I'll put a link in the description for a guide I found on Steam, which is how I learned about these. And we make sure she knows about the radial menu and how to cock a weapon. While she does have the basics of the game down already, before we get into the more advanced techniques and tactics for combat, we do the same for loot and exploration. We covered a few things here, from down to how some of the inventories are weird and you'll right click some stuff, it'll be up in the inventory for others. Flashing doors for safety, even little things like having a boot full of duffel bags so you can make sure you can just chuck them in quickly for easy looting. What she does like when she comes to experience, she makes up tenfold for when it comes to enthusiasm, and it didn't take us long to have all the houses cleared and be on the road and ready to start focusing on poking some zombies in the face. After clearing the roadblock, Slate had to get off and was planning on using the red car to get home, so me and Muffy pressed further down the road to the holiday camp. When we arrived, the first two things we covered were positioning, obviously just making sure we didn't overextend, we didn't pull too many zombies at once so we didn't get overwhelmed, and something we call radaring. Now this is just spinning around like a radar every now and again when you get an opportunity, making sure there's none coming at you and making sure you see any that might be behind. And finally, I have a little trick I've developed that only works if you have randomised zombies or slow shamblers in the game at all. The thing is, their lunge when they're coming for you is faster than their shamble, so you can take advantage of this to spread them out and make it more 1v1s. So with the lessons in hand, please sit back, relax, enjoy the vibes, enjoy the violence from Muffy's very own murder montage. On the drive back out, we saw the red car that Slate was planning to use to get home, and we decided to entertain ourselves by hiding the battery. From there we continued on to the posh houses round on the waterfront, and for Muffy these were a great place to be. It gave her a chance to put together both of today's lessons in a fairly controlled environment, so she could do a little killing, and she could do a little looting. And we even took a moment to share a teacup of tequila on the waterfront. With the evening quickly creeping up on us, it was time for us to get back to base and back to safety. And while every Zomboid veteran knows that the learning is never truly over, I think it's safe to say Muffy's picked quite a lot up today, and she seems to be handling combat and the game much better. Shortly after we got back to base, Slate got back online, and because we forgot to take the battery out the white car as well, the trap hadn't worked quite as effectively as we wanted. This didn't mean he made it back to base in the clanker. He did end up breaking down, and in the following morning when I was going out to pick up wood, I gave him a ride with me. Of course it's ideal for me, because rather than having to chop all the wood, now I could just focus on stacking it up and getting it in the van. Even at this stage in the build process, our thirst for planks had been insatiable, and we ended up running quite a large operation in order to get enough planks. We took out 4 separate cars, filled them all with wood, and it still would not be enough. The problem is we had pretty grand designs for what we wanted to build. Not only were we building an apartment complex on the roof, we were also building an entertainment complex where we intended to collect all the books that are in the game and build what we like to call the library of all mankind. I think by the time this video actually gets released, that will have been done, so the base tour videos will be there if you want to go check that out. Other than that, I do just want to take a quick second and say thank you for joining me this week. If you have made it this far, like, subscribe, comment, it all really does help out the video and the channel. Other than that, just take care out there, y'all. I'll see you next week.